All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are ready to roll. Game number 2 going to be coming at you here on Cursed Hollow. That's how the map bans have ended up, and that is where we're going to be going. The draft already underway. Thank you to the good guys at Storm Draft for using their pretty awesome tool. But right now it is up 1-0. ESV Tempest over top of Integrity. Match point, potentially. In Cursed Hollow we go. The map that basically defined the Stitches, and definitely the most popular of maps when it comes to this high elo world that we sort of live in. First pick is going to go the way of ESV Tempest. They ban out a Tassadar, and because they are the first pick, they don't actually have to worry about a Stitches, because if they don't have the resulting ban from Integrity, which they do, then they of course do have that opportunity of picking up that first pick on such a map. Like, again, back in the day, this is the map. There's so many places that you can put out a fishing hook and just trap an opponent inside some trees, inside the horseshoes in the middle. Just overall a very strong pick on any map, but especially here. So it's not really too much of a surprise to see that it will be the Stitches ban. But the Tassadar ban means that we're going to have a Tychus now on the field. But before all that, the first pick here was the Arthas from ESV Tempest. No Tassadar is actually a very smart ban here as well, because the Tassadar, you saw the importance of the Tassadar last round. The shields, the healing ward, the build is absolutely monstrous. To try to 1v1 a Tassadar, you just don't do it unless you have many, many friends ready to go to kind of just pummel him with you. But he also has, of course, the Oracles, and a ban on the Oracle means we might actually see a stealth class, probably a Zeratul. Nova's kind of fallen out a lot more out of favor these days, but it's certainly possible that you could see one. But I'm not really holding water to that prospect. Either way, let's see what the flip side is. Flip side was a Tychus and Vala first picks here from Integrity Gaming. So they really do value those assassins first. And the Tychus, of course, was not the ban. ESV Tempest said we could go with the Tychus, but we're actually going to go with our frontliner, our boy, Arthas. And that way, Integrity can't get a Tychus and an Arthas on the back of all that. Flip side, ESV Tempest, Brightwing, and Falstad. Good mobility on this map. It is one of the bigger maps here in Heroes of the Storm. And with the Brightwing, with the phase shift, you can definitely go in and around a lot of places. Definitely a very good candidate for Bribe as well. But back in the day, it used to be a double Bribe combo here with the Falstad on the back of all that. So we could see that here, although with the new remake of Falstad, this patch, Power Throw is an amazing first level option that you can grab at level 1 for your talents. So I'd suspect we're going to see the Power Throw there, but we'll have to see how the team comp actually works out. We do got the Tyrael, so if it's not going to be an Arthas, it will be the Tyrael. We call these the Bash Bros if you guys watch the HPL, because the front line potential of a Tyrael and an Arthas is absolutely insane. And bam, look at that. It is going to be a Zeratul coming out from Integrity. So they said, all right, well, we see that ban on the on the Tassadar, and you pick up on the back of all that just a really good frontliner with the Arthas. We're not going to give you the Zeratul. The Zeratul with the Void Prison is absolutely amazing on this map. There's so many pinch points, so many chokeholds that you can actually throw down really good Void Prisons and delay out teams. You can get a tribute. You can steal out the golems, the bosses. You can steal out actually any merc camp, really. Anything that requires a capture with the Void Prisons as well. So you can see some interesting boss snipes on some of the play there. So yeah, he's a really good frontliner in terms of just zipping in and out guerrilla warfare kind of style. But at the same time, he is definitely worth his weight in a good Void Prison. We'll have to see how all that works out. Nazebo is going to be a repeat pick here. ESV Tempest really do like the Nazebo, definitely coming back into power a little bit ago. And that will actually lead us into something I didn't really see, but it will be the Tyrande. And the Tyrande is basically the last pick of the Tyrande here, not because there's some super secret stat, it's because there's a Zeratul on the map. So the Shadow Stalk will reveal him, the Owls will reveal him, you throw a Starfall on his face, and of course that will reveal him. So there's a lot of ways to deal with him here. And the flip side, it's going to be, once again, an Uther to be joining the Tyrael on the front line for Integrity Gaming. So the triple assassin comp is definitely where Integrity Gaming feels that they're ready to go. Just giving my readies. And we're going to have to see if that will repay them in kind for putting a point here on the board, because they are down 1-0 in this game 2, best of 3, round of 16 of these January finals. And if Integrity, if they can do this with this comp, this is the map to do this. Like, if they can't bring a triple assassin comp to this map and win, then I'm not too sure you can bring it to any map and win, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. The countdown has started. Congratulations to the beta key winners. There will be more keys after this one. We'll put up 2 EU keys into the chat. So we'll be looking for that at the end of all this, because I know that the time slot's not so great for you guys for the EU side of things. All right, let's bring it up. UI, here we go. ESV Tempest and Integrity. Once again, it'll be ESV Tempest here on your blue side. They're leading currently 1-0 over top of Integrity Gaming, the newcomer, so to speak, here at this summit of the best. This is basically like the war of the best. And if you get that reference, then you definitely watch the shows that I watch. But these are the teams. These are the top 11 teams from the January monthlies. Seeding points, money. They did a lot of good things here to get to this stage of the game. And, the war of the best is decided by the best. So we'll see. Who's the best here? ESV Tempest, or will it be Integrity? Treble's going to be heading up top. Nightmare, Oop, and Toe Jam and Earl holding down the mid. And Panucci with that Nazebo going to be by himself in the bottom. So I'm curious, are we going to see a Tyrande and Arthas roam? Because they do got the double CC ready to go. We'll have to find out. Taiki-san going to be into the top. Dead Saint. And then here's the more expected party lane into the bottom. It's going to be Trav McNasty, Killer of Gods, and Shatter Swift. Killer of Gods actually has revoked his False Dead license, and he's going to be the Uther today. So he was the False Dead last round. Curious to see how the flex works and when it comes from team to team. But Power Throw is going to be there for the False Dead. Just looking for some of these engages. So he will have that. This is actually a combo, again, went into Hero League the other day with some friends, and we found a really nice synergy with the Tyrande and the Power Throw. You throw out the stun, you throw out your hammer, and then the hammering, just because the ranges are almost very similar, the timing is nearly identical for a max range hammer to hit on the back of that stun. And here comes that double stun combo. I mean, it's basically a triple CC with treble there as well, and that polymorph. So first blood will be the Vala. She had no chance as soon as that Howling Blast did hit. It's almost like you run with a Kerrigan. It can definitely do some good things. Dead Saint now is going to be the collapse upon here. 3-on-1, and the Saint cannot move. He is on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage on that one. Will blow up on top of Toe Jam and Earl. We also had the blink out there from Shatter Swift as they were trying to gank out that False Dead. But now you see the power of this roam. It's a very nice early game combo. Gets you that early game advantage in terms of experience. And that's why it's level 3 to level 2 currently. Death Ritual, Frozen Waste, taking a look at Purge, Evo into the top. So that's actually more damage on Smite. Very common option here for some of our Tyraels. Nice Owl being thrown out at the end of it. Composite Arrows, the Conjurer's Pursuit, Greater Cleave, and of course, Armor Piercing Rounds. So the Tychus with Armor Piercing, it's usually, it used to be actually a bit more of a toss-up here with the level 1 talents, but these days it's all about that overkill, and well, that was definitely some overkill. With the Howling Blast landed immediately after that run and gun into the stun there from Toe Jam and Earl. And right now we visited the top, we got a kill. We visited the mid, we got a kill. And now on that bottom lane, it's not quite going to be the bigger advantage because those are both solo lanes here, top and mid. So if you kill out the solo laner, you're denying the team experience, and that's basically the big thing that you need here. Good blink there from the Shatter Swift. But, going from lane to lane to lane has almost yielded an entire level difference at the 2.5-minute mark. ESV Tempest and this roaming gank squad is very, very powerful. Shatter Swift has a Zeratul here up against an Arthas as well. He just throws out that Tempest, and there's absolutely nothing a Stealthy can do. He's just going to be revealed. There's so many ways to deal with the Zeratul. Zeratul threw out the bomb on top of Toe Jam and Earl, but he kind of came up short. And the Owl is actually going to be flowing out. So it wasn't even much of a contest. I mean, that first tribute is basically just going to be into the pocket here of ESV. And Treble didn't even bother coming down. We did actually have, I believe, the 4-man collapse because Nightmare was there. But, I mean, it's easy for him to come back into the lane because he can just fly. not even really a big experience loss. I mean, Taiki-san there didn't actually leave top either, so he clearly said, guys, I'm not coming down. I'm just going to soak. We're not going to get it anyways, which is a really smart move there from Integrity. Nice Howling Blast again, into the stun, into the Polymorph. It is absolutely vicious because that level 4 in Venom from the Oop definitely popping off quite a bit of the very frail Vala's hit points. And, you know, it's a different style. We're having the early game roam from ESV Tempest do amazing things. They're putting up pressure on all the lanes. You're solo, you could definitely be in trouble. But it's the party lane bottom. But the problem is the party lane bottom is not doing any work. Look at this. It's just not hurt at all. Absolutely. It's 3-on-1, and Nazeebo is keeping these guys at bay. The roaming death squad going around. Again, Vala is actually going to die in the back of everything. And yeah, I mean, this is, if you're going to keep 3 in that bottom lane, you need to be, you know, pushing hardcore. You need to be keeping this Nazeebo out of it. You need to be pushing these towers because overall, we're having just a much more use of strength coming out from ESV Tempest as they roam and they get these kills. And now they are up more than 1 level advantage. They go up the Stone Bros into the back. They're going to be putting big pressure on top of this fort. And there's no way that Avala can deal with this. She gets caught one more time by any CC. She's going to be a goner. We're looking for the first kill here on top of Nightmare. We're not actually going to be able to catch it here. Dead Saint could not see him past this gate. And Nightmare is actually going to be okay out of that. The Nazeebo still is soaking like a champ into this bot lane. Bottom lane is still not leaving. We got a little bit more of a roaming Zeratul. But again, Zeratul gets caught in this combo. It's basically the same problem. You can't blink out of roots anymore. And just before the 3rd tribute here at level 10, we're going to have our first fort go the way of ESV Tempest. It's actually astounding, the difference between the teams right now. It's a full level and a bit. Hinterland Blast, Emerald Wind, Army of the Dead, Ravenous Spirit, and Starfall. So it is not going to be a Shadow Stock. It will actually be the zone control of the Starfall. Which is, you know, again, it can definitely pay itself off very well because we got battle momentum. Basic attacks reduce ability cooldowns by half a second. Toe Jam and Earl, every time he goes ganking, he's getting these auto attacks off. Anytime he's in a lane, he gets auto attacks. That's going to lead us into quite a few Starfalls. And the Starfalls up against the Stealth, up against, you know, a team that needs to be capturing tributes or needs to be doing, you know, mercs and pressures out there on points. It's really good control on all the back of that. So it was 3 up, 3 down. ESV Tempest, they get themselves their trouble with the jukes. They get themselves that tribute. They're now pushing in. Top lane is a ghost town. I mean, it's already dead. There's nothing else to do there. Bottom lane has now joined its top lane brethren in death. And that leaves us into either pushing up for a keep, which so far is going virtually uncontested. Definitely a good option. Or going for the mid fort. You can just skip the front line, just go right on in here. That's a little bit more risky because we got 25 seconds left on the curse. If you don't actually get that fort and get out of dodge, then all the towers are going to come back and activate. That's a really good way to actually throw everything. Level 10 comes out and immediately we jump, and here's the CC combo on top of Treble. It was the Judgment and the Divine Storm. So that's going to be the first kill now for Integrity. And let's see, what else do they got? Strafe, Void Prison, and the Odin. All very kind of expected things. Good kill on their part, though. And the mid fort will survive. The curse is now done, and the fort will live. Problem is, bottom gate not looking so good, which, as I said, they definitely was a bit more of the better option going that way. Owls are now going to be coming out, and you're going to be seeing owls all game. But, you know, they take their advantage as well. ESV Tempest, they pushed up that bottom. They said they're going to have to deal with that. Treble was in the mid, and he got caught and said, well, they're not going to be able to go contest the boss, and boss is now going to be marching down a very empty lane. These towers are not going to be putting up any kind of resistance, and that's going to lead us probably into a keep because this team fight could go very, very wrong for Integrity, and in fact it has now already. Zeratul down. The Void Prison did not hit Panucci. That is a full-length Ravenous out there doing the damage. Terrio's now going to blow up. Taiki-san is actually going to try his best to keep Trav McNasty up, but the power throw comes out, the hammer ring there as well. And Trav McNasty with the first aid will survive, but again, there's now 3 dead. The towers are down. This is going to be big keep pressure. I think the keep can actually kill the Golem at this stage in the game, but You know, the pressures are being applied. Level 13 talent advantage, static shield, rewind, rewind, the sprint, and the relentless. The double rewind on Tyrande, double stuns, double owls. It's nasty. It is nasty. Just the way to put this. This game so far, you know, the early game kills led us into a nice level advantage, which led us into ultimates first and an early fourth for ESV Tempest. They now got the bribe going on. Treble's going to go get themselves the Stone Bros to help support this Golem, but the Golem's going to be dead long before the Stone Bros even get close to it. And no, it's once we have this lead, so far ESV Tempest hasn't let it go. And they're putting pressure on quite a few parts of this map. No bruisers have actually been taken as of yet. But, you know, that could actually be a big objective still yet to do. For now, though, we're going to throw down the zombie wall. They will actually be the big targets here for these towers. And the towers are going to drop. That will put us close to level 15 and a half, 15 and a quarter. It's, yeah, level 15 in 9 minutes is still a very impressive pace here. And there's a tribute up. So it looks like we're going to have a party bush. The Arthas is there. We also got the Emerald Wind ready to go with the double polymorph. But here comes Dead Saint. He's going to interrupt that cast there from Nightmare. But nope, Dead Saint is going to commit 100% to it. The rest of the team needs to come in and try to help him out. Nice Void Prison that time. Lands on top of 3. Looking for the stun there on top of Panucci. It was actually the knockback from the Dead Saint Judgment. We didn't get Uther into the back there for anything. The Hinterland Blast there from Nightmare was absolutely a whiff. But nice snipe out from the Owl. Does take down the Vala, and the rest of Integrity has basically fallen down like bowling pins at this point. It is a turkey. 3-1 for the kills. It looks like, I want to say Shatterswift actually got that kill at the end on top of the Falstead, because I don't think there's actually anyone else there to do it. Shatterswift still coming in. He will deny that tribute cast, but that's basically the rest of the tricks that he has up his sleeve. He's going to die. Level 16 advantage. Another tribute in the pocket of Tempest. And Overdrive. Critterize. Specialized Toxin. This is likely Stone Skin. And Ranger. So a little bit of an Owl build. You got the Pierce. And then, of course, the plus 200% damage on Ranger. Absolutely massive talent. And, you know, Tyrandas can actually take top hero damage past level 16 with enough repeated use of Owls and Rewind. And yeah, there's the Stone Skin. We do got the Cast Aside, Frost Shot, Sprint, Wormhole, and Lead Rain. So it wasn't actually a triple overkill. We did get the Melting Point on the Tychus. And even then, this is still a suspiciously healthy bottom lane. We don't even have mules this time. We got the Kidbin here from the Zebo. No mules here today. But the tower damage, the siege damage is really lacking here from Integrity. Their team fights have not served them very well at all. They have 2 kills to the name. One of them was a pick where they collapsed 5-on-1 on top of the Brightwing. The other was a trade-off for 4 team members when everything was said and done. Another tribute is going to be spawning top. We're looking for the party bush. Here it is. We are going to find Dead Saint. Dead Saint gets himself a heal, but here comes the Starfall. The Hinterland's Blast right down that narrow corridor was absolutely amazing. The Tyrael will blow up on top of some of the ESV members, but it's not something that we can contest. We didn't even get a Void Prison out. We didn't get a Judgment out. We did actually get a Strafe, but then the Valid died, so it probably didn't do nearly as much as it should have. And once again, the front line of the Arthas into the Toe Jam and Earl with now Hinterland Blast on the back of all of that. It's a little much for the Uther here to deal with. He can't heal everyone on Integrity at all times. And, you know, the kills are now 15-2 with a 3-level advantage. We're just camping out for this boss. We're going to be going for that. That could be a game-ending pressure push into this bot. If it's not going to be that, then they're probably going to time it out, jump up into this top one and camp that one, and then maybe look for that game-ending push. But so far, this is still ESV's game to lose. They're looking pretty strong here for their second match of the day. And if they do take this, of course, it will be a 2-0, and they will move on to the quarterfinals here of the January monthly. Zeratul, I understand. Well, you might say, why is Zeratul so far away from his team? Well, he was going to come check down here with a Void Prison and hopefully steal out a boss, but too little, too late, I'm afraid, Mr. Shatterswift. Too little, too late. We did have the Watchtower pressure from Tempest. They were looking for the Stone Bros, but then they saw the contest. There's also now a tribute up. But this isn't a tribute that, Tempest could actually deny this tribute and grab it themselves for a curse. Or conversely, they could have actually pushed out bottom very heavily and just left it there. I mean, it's a 0 out of 3 curse. We haven't had a single curse here for Integrity. Sorry, a single tribute for Integrity. So they could have easily just left it and done the pushing game, looked for this keep, looked for a game-ending push, but they're actually deciding to back out. They're going to wait for the Odin to just wear out. They're not going to, or they're looking for this choke point. This choke point could be massive with a Hinterland Blast, and here it comes. That's going to be a kill. Shatterswift is now going to be dead on the back of that as well. The Void Prison did hit 5 team members. Killer Gods there with that stun as well. Dead Saint, though, is not a big DPS hero. He doesn't have a lot to follow that up, and it looks like the Tyrael is just on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage. He's going to go down as well. The Healing Ward came out big. Trav McNasty, sorry, Nightmare, not Trav McNasty, couldn't actually get that kill, so he couldn't get killed, didn't die. And now it is going to be Trav McNasty looking for just some refuge amongst some now disabled towers, as we do have the second curse of the game going the way of Tempest. They are not going for a boss. I think they're just going to go for a win, because we still got 5 and 12 seconds. All the cooldowns here are still ticking away at the heroics of Integrity. Here comes the fly in there from Nightmare. They're for sure getting a keep to match that bottom keep. The bottom keep has now been dead after a little bit, because during that fight, the big boss, he went in and he did some damage. Keep number 2 is going to be here in the bag, and maybe now we're actually going to go for that boss. If it's not, then it's going to be the fort, but the fort is definitely a tidy up thing here. The creeps are going to be able to take it, and I think they know that. Yeah, they do. They're going to go straight for this gate as well. There's no point wasting time there. The creep wave is now amalgamated, and it's looking pretty scary. We got some catapult pressure into the back here as well. Catapults will bring your core down these days. The last patch, they were actually unintentionally nerfed. Didn't know that until the patch notes, but they were way too weak. It's just like 5 catapults on my core, no problem. The core will not even break a sweat on that one. But no longer is that the case. No longer is that the case. We do got 16 here for Integrity. Holy Ground, the Blood for Blood, Hardened Focus, Double Bomb, and the Stone Skin. So the Holy Ground is the blocker. Ring that blocks enemies going. It's like a localized Tassadar wall. You can think of it like that. So that's a curious way to go here for the Tyrael. So he's going more utility rather than survivability rather than damage. And ESV Tempest actually backed off. They weren't confident enough to hit this boss. I think that they're just trying to play it safe. It's 18-2. Like, this is a guaranteed win. They're about to hit level 20. And they don't need to risk anything right now. If they catch Shatterswift, wow, nice blink, Shatterswift. If they catch Shatterswift, that's actually really bad. But yeah, they were too afraid. They didn't have their ults, and they didn't want to put themselves into any kind of game-throwing scenario, which is actually really smart. Like, playing it slow, playing it calculated, playing it smart, definitely a good way to go. And you know, Integrity actually saw the chance at a boss. They get creep jacked out of it. Boss is now going to go to the Tempest. A nice Void Prison on the back of all this, but there's no big follow-up. Like, there's no 5v3 whatsoever. Shatterswift in the back gets shrunk, and now he's dead. It's going to be a Hinterland Blast, brings out the Odin, kills out the Vala. Dead Saint and Killer Gods cannot do anything up against Panucci and crew. And that will once again leave us here with Trav McNasty. That was level 20 as well. You saw Nightmare with that epic mount. He comes right on in. That is it for the Tyrael. For the Tychus and the Tyrael, and that is going to be it for Integrity Gaming. They drop out 2-0 to this ESV Tempest commanding through. My goodness, very strong play. It's been a while since I covered Tempest myself, but absolutely fantastic stuff to watch, and they are going to take this one home. Congratulations, they are in to the quarterfinals and one best of 3 closer here to getting themselves into the ESL Majors. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic play. Congratulations, Tempest. They move on. Integrity, we will see you in the February Cups. And, well, I'm actually not entirely too sure if that's true, because we have a cup on Sunday, although Sunday is the Super Bowl. So I'm not entirely too sure. So far, we have 3 teams actually signed up for the Go4Heroes America's Cup number 9, I believe. And not entirely too sure how that one's actually going to shake out. But either way, Integrity will be, of course, invited back into the ESL Cups, that they can once again try to prove themselves as a top 16 qualifier so that they have themselves a chance into the majors. Fair is fair, though. ESV Tempest, they win out, so they will move on. And we're going to set up for our next match. Once again, key spam coming out, 2 EU keys to give away on the back of all this. And when we return, we will have ourselves our first games of 2ARC versus ESV Wildfires. So both ESV teams getting coverage here today on the FourCourtJester stream. Hopefully you guys will join me. Let me know everything in the chat. And when we come back, we will have ourselves our first game of our quarters season.